Welcome to Basement Bar Beers, Beards, and BS. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different because today I'm going to talk about my road to Sturgis and my preparation for this trip. For those of you that don't know, have not seen the previous videos, I'll post a link down below. I bought a Harley Davidson a couple months ago, had one fall in my lap. When it didn't fall in my lap, I paid for it, but I found it online. It was a really good deal. Didn't want to pass it up, didn't want to miss out. I've got another video too that I talk about this. I used to work for Harley Davidson. I was a Harley mechanic. I was in sales for a long time. I love Harley Davidsons. So when this bike fell in my lap and I got it, my buddy Robbie, who I actually know because I bought a bike from him, did some horse trading, and we've become good friends. Robbie, what's up, buddy? He said, dude, you got a bike, you got to come to Sturgis with us. This year, is the 81st year of the Sturgis Rally in Sturgis, South Dakota. From my house, or where Robbie lives, which is just a few miles north of here, it's about 1,350 miles one way from here to Sturgis, South Dakota. We've kind of mapped our trip by Robbie did all the footwork with him and his buddies that are working on it. We basically will hop up, leave here and head up and around over into Sturgis, stopping at as many Harley dealerships as we can along the way, mostly for a lot of reasons. They got good, clean bathrooms. If we need anything for the bikes, they should have it. We're making all the things that we need to do for this trip, trying to get it all prepped up. I got 8 months, right at 8 months. So I got a lot to do. I got to prep the motorcycle. I got to get gear. So this episode, I'm going to talk about really the gear that I'm probably going to need for the trip. I've done a little bit of research, and I've been riding enough to know certain things that I know I'm going to need anyway, even just taking short trips around or driving up into North Georgia for a couple hundred miles. Like, some of these things are things that are good to have in your pack. In your tour bag or your backpack or whatever you keep on your motorcycle when you go riding. Especially if you're a Harley guy, we tend to have saddlebags, and well, some of us do. Anywho, I'm going to run down the list of the things that I found that I think are the most important. If you're a motorcycle rider, or if you have done this before, please comment down below and let me know things that I'm missing, things that you thought were important and you wasted money on and you probably should have got something cheaper, or if the brand you like better than others. So let me start with the very first thing. I am miserable on a motorcycle if my feet are cold or sweaty or wet. One of the most important things for me is getting a good pair of boots or riding shoes. I really like I think they're called the TCX Street Ace. They're waterproof, high top tennis shoes. Essentially, they're kind of boots. But I like them because they cover a couple different bases. 1, they're cool looking. 2, I've heard they're pretty comfortable. 3, they're waterproof, which means they're also windproof. So if it does chilly at night and the temperature drops a little bit in August when we go, my feet will be comfortable. Also, if it rains, which it's quite possible it could, I'm less worried about my feet getting wet or my socks getting drenched, ruining how comfortable I am on the motorcycle, which for a long trip, comfort is super important. So I'm gonna try to snatch up a pair of those shoes. They're about 120 bucks. They're on my to-do list. The other thing I need is some good summer riding gloves. I've got some old ones that I've had. There's some Alpine Stars that I've had for they're probably 20 years old. I think I bought them when I was originally at Harley Davidson, or maybe when I was working for Ducati, doesn't matter. But they're the old school style, and they don't have touchscreen sensitive thumb and pointer finger. So if I'm riding down the road on my Harley, I can't do anything, change music or anything on my phone because I can't touch the screen without pulling my glove off, which is not fun to do while you're riding down the road at 80 miles an hour. So with that said, I'm gonna try to find a good pair of gloves. There's a couple that I like. Harley sells some other companies like Icon sell some that I really do like the look. I'm probably gonna try to find a pair of Icons because I already have a nice Icon helmet. Hey guys at Icon, I really do enjoy your product. I have a Icon Alliance helmet with the blue demon on it, what I think is what it is. It's called the Horror, is the name of the helmet. On the back it says the Horror. It matched a Buell that I had at the time. It doesn't match my current Harley. It's a different color blue, but that's a whole other story. I have also looked into a helmet called ROAD. A lot of YouTubers and moto vloggers really love these helmets. There's actually a guy in Georgia here who's got a YouTube channel named John Maxwell. The Harley Tech, I think, is what his handle is. He loves it. He's got a couple of them, and I'm excited to maybe try one out. So that is on my list, but it's at the bottom because I already have a good helmet. Another thing I want to do on this trip is I want to make sure that I can film as much as I can while I'm on the road. So getting a GoPro that I can mount to my Alliance helmet is kind of high up on my list. I really would like the Hero 9, but it's like $400 on GoPro's website, so I may have to get a 7 or 8 and just work from there. But I did order a chin mount from a company called Chin Mounts, and they made one specific for the Alliance helmet. It literally goes right on the chin, so you can mount the GoPro right on the face mask, or just below the face mask on the chin of the helmet. I'll need a microphone adapter and a little wire mic that I could put inside the helmet. I just forgot to add something to my list, which would bring me to my next thing that I need electronic wise, so I can vlog the whole trip and talk. I want the GoPro, but more importantly, I really want a SENA 50S. The SENA 50 is a Bluetooth speaker system that you attach to your helmet, so you can make phone calls if other riders have them. They've got a mesh. It's like an open radio frequency that you can talk to other riders if they're in your mesh system. It would be nice if while I'm on the road, my wife can call and I can just answer the phone and say, hey, what's going on? Yes, I'm fine. More importantly, yes, I'm safe while I'm riding on the road. That's really important for me, that she is not panicking while I'm on this almost 3,000 mile trip to South Dakota and back. The SENA 50S is on my list. Again, it's about $300. As you can see, it's starting to add up already, and I haven't even really gotten close to anything 100% that I need. Another thing I'm going to need is some luggage. I'm looking at some Nelson RIGG luggage that one fits on the tour pack on the luggage rack itself, which is nice because it's about this tall. It's about 12 inches tall. It looks like, if I remembered the measurements correctly, it will hold 2 helmets, which is overkill. I don't need storage for 2 helmets, but it will hold clothes and all my stuff that I need for the trip. Also, since I'll be going solo, I'm looking at, I think it's called the Destination Pack from Nelson RIGG. It will fit in the passenger seat area. Her 2 Wheels talks about them all the time and how she loves them. She has one of those packs, so I'm attempting to get one of those too. They're currently on sale on Amazon right now for about $150 each. They're normally quite a bit more money than that, so I'm hoping I can snatch them up while they're still on sale. We'll see how that goes. Again, I'm having to like piece all these together, so I'm selling a bunch of stuff to pay for a lot of these things. All that Nelson RIGG stuff comes with rain covers, so I don't have to worry about the luggage getting wet or worrying about it, because I can just keep the rain covers on it and be good to go. I have a pretty cool riding jacket from Icon as well. It's an older one that I got 15 years ago. It is a Icon's, I think it's called the Supermoto. It was a Lucky 13, so it's got a big 13 on the back. I love it. It's denim with leather sleeves, but I do need to replace the padding inside those, because over time, just like a helmet, all that padding starts to kind of decompose and crumble, and there's no more padding in it. So I need to get with Icon and order some new padding, shoulder and elbow and forearm padding for that jacket. Let's see, what else is on this list? Because that's a decent cool weather jacket, I think I'll be all right. I don't think it's gonna get cold enough. I'll need my really heavy winter jacket, although I may still take my heated stuff that I also don't have. I'm hoping that I can score from a friend or find on Facebook for cheap. But I need a cool weather, warm weather jacket when it's really hot, because it's gonna be really warm. It'll be in August when this trip is made. So I wanna make sure I've got a good jacket that is summer worthy, that breathes well, but is still safe, because most importantly, I want to stay safe on the motorcycle. I used to, in my younger days, just ride t-shirts and a skid lid and a pair of Chucks and jeans, and was pretty happy. But I'm getting old and I like my brains inside my head, and I actually spent a lot of money on what little tattoos I have. I would also not like to ruin them with some gnarly road rash. So again, I might need a new jacket. Another thing I'm going to really need is rain gear. I have some rain gear, but it's pretty old and it takes up a lot of room. The newer rain gear that I've seen from Harley and some other places is much thinner and packs down much more compact. On this trip, I think is going to be very important that I can compact as much stuff into the bike as I can. I may get some just boot covers and use the gear that I have and just kind of hope that it works, but I don't want to hope that it works. I want to know that it's going to work, so I may buy some new stuff. Another thing that's on my list, Robbie said I need to get a pair of leather chaps. I'd love to get a pair of Harley Davidson leather chaps. I think it'd be cool. Some people don't like leather. I like both. Robbie had his on there today when it was cold out, and we went for a little ride up into Suches up in North Georgia, which was beautiful, and we loved it up there. It kept him nice and warm on his bike, him and his girlfriend Fleur. So those are in there, different types of pants. They make different type of riding pants, different types of jeans. I may not get anything different right now. I like riding in jeans, but it would be nice to have some that had a little bit more padding on it, or maybe breathe a little bit better. Anyhow, next on the list is a bike lock, making sure that my bike is safe. Even though I've locked the fork, that there's no way for anyone to take my 900-pound Harley Davidson or take bags off it or anything. I don't know. I've seen some crazy stuff when I lived in Orlando. I've watched people pick up bikes and throw them in the back of vans and then drive away. So a lock is really important to me. Bringing a spare key, keeping it, on my persons at all time or hidden somewhere in the bike, so that if I lose the key to my bike, I've got a spare somewhere. Hopefully not locked in the bike. It has to be accessible. So that's whole other conversation. Another thing I think is important to have that I keep reading is a good tool kit, some multi-tools, a knife, zip ties are on that list. What else is on there? Some bungee cords for making sure things are strapped to the bike and safe, because you never know, once I get out there, I might purchase some stuff and they need to be strapped onto the bike. Another thing that may sound kind of silly is my phone plugs into my head unit so I can listen to music on the stock Harley Davidson radio. What it doesn't do is charge my phone from the auxiliary port what I've plugged into. So what I will need is to figure out how to, different times of the trip, plug into an alternative power. That's something else I'm trying to figure out. Maybe there's a way I can work something in down the road. But the SENA 50 is also Bluetooth adaptable, so that's something else I'm sorting out, is figuring out how that works. But another thing would be power blocks. So if I'm on the road and my phone dies, we're not near a charging station, or we're not at the hotel, or we're in between, I would be able to plug my phone into the power block that I've already charged, that already has battery life, so that my phone can stay on and charge from that. I do have a few of those, nothing really crazy. I've got a few things like that I think will work, that I've used and my wife has used when she was camping, that turns your cigarette lighter into like a normal like outlet for your computer or a phone charger or anything like that, instead of USB. Anyway, 12 volt, basically what I'm getting at. Also a cup holder, which again, cup holder on a motorcycle for some people sounds stupid, but if we're going to be riding 100 miles at a time, I do need to stay hydrated, especially in the summertime. I think that'd just be a good idea in general. I'm going to be riding around in the hot heat and sweating in my full face helmet, because I am going to probably be wearing a full face, which I'll probably ride with cracked. I don't know, the Icon ventilates pretty well. It's noisy on the highway. So again, those are things that are kind of important to me. On the cup holder, there are some companies that make ones. There's literally one called Big Ass Cup Holder, if I remember correctly. I'd have to look up the company that makes it. But to mount that with a long straw, so I can get the straw under the helmet, maybe a crazy straw, that'd be kind of fun. That I can get it up under the helmet so I can actually drink while I'm riding, mostly just water or soda if we stop somewhere. That's high on the list. Another thing is sunscreen. I actually will look like this Budweiser hood if I'm out in the sun too long. I burn really quick, really easy. It's my Irish skin. My mom's a ginger, so I burn like a Rice Krispie treat. In the sun, I turn into a lobster. So sunscreen is going to be super important. I've seen other guys on 2 Lanes on YouTube. They have compression sleeves that they will wear. It's made out of like a self-wicking material that they will ride with in the summertime to keep their arms out of the sun, which is actually a brilliant idea. I actually have a couple of those, because at work I'm not supposed to show off my tattoos, so I usually wear long sleeves all the time, even in the summer, and it's hot. They are self-wicking, so it does help a little bit, but that would be nice. Another nice option to not have to constantly be putting on sunscreen, at least while I'm riding. Another thing is I already have on the bike, which is a battery tender, and I keep the tender in the back of the bike, so if we are somewhere and I'm a little worried, I could plug it in while on the road. The battery in my bike is just a few months old, so again, I'm not super worried about it. Oh, a bike cover. I've been reading and seeing videos that if you're on a trip like this and you have a bike cover, it's harder for someone to get into the bike, because then they have to be seen taking the cover off. It's just one more step to kind of keeping people away from the bike. I'm not going to have the nicest bike on this trip. It's an 05 Electric Glide. I love it. You know, I don't want people stealing crap off my bike or trying to take things, but I think a bike cover will help. So I'm trying to find one on Facebook Marketplace that I think will work. Those are the most important things that are kind of on my list. Making sure I got clean underwear and socks and an extra pair of jeans or 2, tons of t-shirts. That's normal packing. That's wherever I go. Making sure I got my deodorant, toothpaste and toothbrush, stuff like that. That's all normal things that you would take on a trip when you go anyway. So those are the things I'm not worried about, because I already have those things. What I don't have is a lot of things on this list. So I've got to come up with a way, an affordable way to get a lot of these things. Some of these things may get bought secondhand. I may call in favors. I've got a friend that works at Atlanta Harley Davidson. Tim, what's up, buddy? I hope you're doing well. Thank you again for always helping me out when I come in to buy parts, and for the upcoming maintenance that I'm going to be doing on the bike, and you again helping me with all the parts that I need. All those things are super important, but more importantly than any of those things on the list is the motorcycle has to be able to make the trip. So maintenance. Doing all the maintenance on the bike is super, super important. Making sure that your tires are good, that they're not old, that they're not dry rotted, that they're not flat spotted. They are nice and round, and they will hold air, that you run them at the correct tire pressure. That's incredibly important on a road trip. Really just just in riding motorcycles in general. Air in your tires and tires in general are just super, super important to a motorcycle and your safety. The tires on my bike seem to be in great shape. Again, I'm going to have another friend of mine who is a Harley tech double check me just to make sure I'm not missing anything, because I get excited and will sometimes overlook things. That's important. More importantly, I've got a twin cam 88, which for any of you that know anything about the twin cam, it's kind of Achilles heel, is the cam chain tensioner, which I talk about a little bit in a previous video. That's my next big hurdle, doing the cam chain kit. Cam chain kit. What is wrong with me? Cam chain kit. I'm not, wow. Had Martins for breakfast. Going back to that, Screamin' Eagle, which is a performance division of Harley Davidson, has a upgrade from their normal cam chain tensioner setup. It's got a guide on the cam chain that the chain runs over, and that deteriorates and can kind of come apart. When it comes apart, it gets trapped in all the oil reservoirs inside the bottom end of the engine and can impede oil moving through the system how it's supposed to, and can starve places in your engine of oil, causing catastrophic failure, meaning you need to rebuild or replace your engine. That is definitely not a good thing. I don't want any of that. So part of that service is Screamin' Eagle cam plate setup that I'll get from them at Harley Davidson, and then new seals, new gaskets, as all the things you take apart, adjustable push rods, which they're out, may as well upgrade them. I really want to put a cam in the bike, but I don't have the money to do that because there's some other stuff on the list that I think is more important, which drives me nuts because I'm going to be in there already. So putting a cam in makes more sense then, but a cam's like $300, and then you got to put a tune on it, which means then I'd want to get an exhaust, and the tune's probably $400 or $500. An exhaust is $300 or $400, maybe $500, depending on which one you get. I want a true dual setup. They just sound better, but I can't run down that rabbit hole yet. Those are things that I need to do way down the road. Again, maintenance. There's another service which I'll be doing called the 3-hole fluid change, which is part of it will be done when we do the cam chain setup. Is a oil change. Number 2 is a transmission flush and refill, and then more importantly, the primary, filling the draining the fluid out of there and adding new fresh fluid to that primary side of the motor and keeping things running smoothly. Other than that, like I said, I've got a nice comfortable seat. I do need to add a windscreen, which I'm adding to my list right now as I keep talking about these things. I want a flared one. The one that I borrowed from Atlanta Harley was epic. I absolutely loved it. I'm up to like 20 things on my list. I'm trying to think of what else was in there. Oh, highway pegs. I got to make sure I'm comfortable while we're riding down the road. The Zeppelin seat that I have, where it is very, very comfortable, it does push me up and it pushes me forward a little bit. I'm 6 foot tall when I stand up straight. So I got to make sure that when I'm riding down the road, I'm really pressed kind of forward on the bike. So I want some highway pegs so I can stretch my legs out on some of the longer sections of this trip. That is my list. If I've missed anything, please say, hey, doofus, you really, really need to do this. This is not important, but this is. Or like I said, if you like a brand that's worked really good for you, especially if it's an affordable brand, because that's really what I'm looking at, unless someone would like to donate a bunch of stuff to me, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, what worked for you, what didn't work for you, what you like, what you don't like, or things that you're looking at that I may have totally missed. I may have a dozen things that are not on my list. You're saying, hey, if you don't do this and you don't do this, you're missing out, or you got to have for your trip. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate you guys chiming into my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the little bell button. That way you'll get a notification anytime I upload new content. And more importantly, thanks for following and keep up. I hope you enjoy my plans in the next 8 months of me preparing to go to Sturgis. Thanks again, guys. And until the next Coke, it's really like noon when I'm filming this, so I'll probably have a beer after this. Need some new hats too. Need some new Harley Davidson hats. This Drag Specialties beanie's like 22 years old. That's probably 20 years old at least. Anyway, I need some new stuff. All right. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoy following me on my journey and my road to Sturgis. Thanks again for watching. Until the next beer and until the next road to Sturgis, we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.